Perhaps it was too good to be true when it was announced that Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter and free the plebs from the clutches of censorship. And since then, we've learned a whole lot. There's been crazy PsyOps going on behind the scenes. The federal government actually paid Twitter in exchange for censorship services. Now, of course, the mainstream media is saying that's not true, but I'll break down those lies and I'll back this up with receipts. But we saw a lot of people return to the platform. We saw Elon Musk do, in my opinion, a very good job. Despite the bad things that have happened and some bad policies that were reversed, Elon Musk taking over Twitter is a light, is a beacon of hope in an otherwise dark world. But I have bad news, my friends. Ars Technica reports. Elon Musk blames Twitter cost cuts on $3 billion negative cash flow. Musk says he'll resign once he finds someone foolish enough to take the job. That's right, my friends. The stark warning in the middle of the night from Elon Musk, where he basically described the platform as a plane nosediving with both engines on fire, about to crash, and the controls aren't working. And that's a sad reality. But it's still good news. It's still good news that Elon Musk was able to get into this platform and release these files. In the meantime, they're coming after him. They're accusing him of, well, they're saying he's tanking Tesla. He's hurting the shareholders, and he needs to just go back to making the electric car. I think the reality is that Elon Musk actually took a stand and risked everything, and now he will pay the price for it, unless he wins. As much as it is a scary thought to think Twitter could implode, I've often gloated at the idea and said, so what, who cares? If the machine is just churning out narrative garbage from the establishment, then so be it. But I have to say, with Elon Musk taking over the platform, things genuinely improving, the suspension of some of these intelligence asset journalists, I'm now kind of like, no, now we don't want Twitter to collapse. I mean, I'll put it this way. I'd still probably laugh because, it is what it is, and you can only take so much so seriously. But right now, we need Twitter to succeed, especially as Elon Musk is exposing psychological operations being illegally carried out on the American people. So we're going to call out that machine. As bad as it sounds, though, Elon Musk isn't saying this is the end. He's saying it could be the end. He's warning of Twitter's possible death, but he turns it around at the last minute and says, I think we're going to make money. I think we're going to break even next year, and I think we can pull this off. The questions that remain. How is it that with triple or quadruple the employees, Twitter was solvent? Serious question. How is it that last year, I think their net revenue was like $600 million. And then as soon as Elon Musk comes in, the revenue drops to negative $3 billion. Something doesn't make sense. And many of us have to wonder, is it that the intelligence agencies in the U.S. have been propping up these machines, have been subsidizing them so that they can control the narrative? And it turns out these aren't actually private businesses at all. In fact, they've been run passively by the government. And then you learn that the deputy general counsel for Twitter was a former FBI agent involved in the Russiagate hoax. And the answer becomes, well, perhaps the reality is that this whole machine was not capable of running. And as Elon Musk said, was on the fast track to bankruptcy since May. But maybe it was being propped up because the intelligence agencies knew how valuable it was to wield a private sector weapon, which was de facto government controlled. And now that Elon Musk has taken it over, they're going to nuke it. And they're going to nuke Elon Musk's net worth in the process. Unless he can turn it around. He says he's looking for a new CEO. So let's read the news and talk about exactly where we're at. Because as bad as the news is, Elon Musk is optimistic, and so are some of his investors. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com to become a member and support our work. At timcast.com, you can click that Join Us button. When you become a member, not only will you get access to the Timcast IRL Uncensored show, and last night was a lot of fun, debating libertarianism versus more government intervention. It was a great conversation. You'll also be supporting our general efforts. It's one thing that I think we have as an advantage is that we are not just delivering a product. You don't just sign up for Timcast and get a video. You get everything we're doing. We're launching a physical location so that people can hang out. I'm hoping that we can have 4. I'm aiming for 10, but maybe 4 locations by the end of next year. Scout them out, set them up, and then we will have our own physical locations, coffee shops where you can hang out. Because we need people to come together and share ideas in physical spaces. It's not just that. We're working on nonprofits. We're working on a fact-checking nonprofit that's not gone anywhere. And when you support this business, the things I care about, the things I want to buy good work. I want to support people who are going to report the news. We've got a reporter right now with Carrie Lake documenting this trial. That's what I care about. Become a member at timcast.com to support our mission. And then you'll get access to entertainment. And we are seeking to produce more to make it a better experience for you. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. If you can't be a member, sharing the show is the most powerful thing you can do. Here's a story from Ars Technica. Elon Musk blames Twitter cost cuts on $3 billion negative cash flow. Elon Musk defended his financial stewardship of Twitter, arguing that the social media platform would have faced a negative cash flow situation of $3 billion a year were it not for his controversial cost-cutting efforts. Now, hold on there a minute. This is actually, they got it wrong. I think he actually said it's $6 billion negative, and he saved about $3 billion, and they're still looking at a negative cash flow of $3 billion, but he thinks he can get it to break even. The billionaire entrepreneur who bought the social networking company for $44 billion in October, after previously attempting to pull out of the deal, gave a snapshot of its dire finances during a Twitter Spaces online forum on Wednesday. Quote, "We have an emergency fire drill on our hands. This company is like you're in a plane that is headed towards the ground at high speed with the engines on fire and the controls don't work. That's the reason for my actions that may seem sometimes spurious." What's fascinating is that he actually points out that they have to spend billions because of the debt that they've taken on to buy the platform. He said the platform had been on course to spend about $5 billion in 2023. Overall costs at Twitter in 2021, the last annual period for the company reported before being taken private, were $5.6 billion, during which time it made a net loss of $221 million. Okay, so I was wrong. I was actually looking at another data analysis that said it was cash positive. But that's what I wondered. How do they have $221 million negative? The money's got to come from somewhere, right? They go on. Musk predicted that Twitter's net cash outflow, if you didn't make any changes, would be about $6 billion to $6.5 billion next year. This is partly because the company has been loaded with $12.5 billion of debt to help fund the acquisition, which required about $1.5 billion a year in annual debt servicing payments amid rising interest rates. Quote, "Not good since Twitter has $1 billion in cash," he said. "So that's why I spent the last 5 weeks cutting costs like crazy." His remarks suggested the company was on track to make about $3 billion in annual revenues next year. That would suggest Twitter was on course for revenues as much as $2 billion lower in 2023 than the $5 billion it achieved in 2021, which mainly came from advertising. Many marketers have pulled out of the platform since Musk's takeover because of moderation concerns. Full stop. I got the clip here. Alex on Twitter says, "Key moment in this Twitter space with Elon Musk. In this clip, he explains the current financial situation at Twitter and the reason for his actions lately." Now, aside from the fact that he makes the funny comment about it's a plane about to crash with its engines on fire, he points out the advertisers actually have one simple concern: ROI. He's right. Now, I take a look at Twitter. I've done some advertising, and here's my problem. Elon, I've tried to advertise twice, just a t-shirt, and y'all shut me down. So I got to call shenanigans. And look, we tried advertising Donald Trump going Super Saiyan. And they said, it's an anime thing, okay? And they said, no, it's political. You can't do it. Rejected the ad. I said, okay, fine, we'll do Roberto Jr. It's a shirt, and it's a rooster with his wings out, and it says, stand your ground. That's it. And I said, be like the noble rooster. Stand up for what you believe in. And they allowed it, and then after a couple thousand, rejected it, shut it down. Why? Whatever, man. Don't take my money. I said I was going to advertise on the platform. But what he said was, they have one complaint, and it's a return on investment. Now, hold on there a minute. What do you mean, Elon? They want a return on investment. They were advertising on Twitter before you bought it. So why would they stop advertising on it if ROI was their concern? Perhaps Elon is saying that to try and appease people and make it seem like everything's okay. And the real issue actually is moderation. Or maybe Twitter was being propped up as a narrative machine to control the flow of information and dictate policy in the United States. I mean, I can't say definitively. I can say that was a component for sure because we know that the FBI was involved. And of course, the mainstream media is trying to lie about it. And I'll break down those lies. Quote, with the changes we are making here on massively reducing the burn rate and building subscriber revenue, I now think that Twitter will in fact be okay next year, Musk said, adding that he had spoken to advertisers who were urging him to show how Twitter could provide a return on their investment. The Tesla and SpaceX chief executive had previously indicated he plans to transform Twitter into an everything app where users might be able to send funds or shop, for example, in an effort to generate new revenue streams, including payments and subscriptions. A brilliant plan. However, an attempt to launch a new premium subscription service, Twitter Blue, has been rife with challenges, blah, 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 blah. Okay, late on Tuesday, Musk said he would resign as Twitter's chief as soon as he had found someone foolish enough to take the job, bowing to the result of a poll of the platform's users he conducted at the weekend. Musk also indicated he would continue to run the company's software and server teams after stepping down, suggesting he will remain closely involved in day-to-day operations and product development at the social networking site. Well, previously it was reported Elon Musk says Twitter in fast lane to bankruptcy since May. But it's not all bad news. I think we enter this one worried, and then we come back out and say, okay, things are actually a little bit more optimistic. As Timcast.com reported it, that's us, Musk saved Twitter $3 billion by cutting costs like crazy. This company is like you're in a plane that is headed towards the ground, so you know the quote. Let's talk about journalism, my friends. Let's talk about good journalism. Now, Ars Technica, how do they frame it? They frame it as Elon Musk blames Twitter caught costs on $3 billion negative cash flow. Fair point. That's what he said. How did I frame it in this video? Elon Musk warns of Twitter's death as it is a plane crash headed towards the ground. I think that's also a fair assessment, but admittedly, it's a bit negative of an assessment. The reporters over at Timcast.com decided to frame it more positively. Well, Christopher Bertman wrote it, and that's his editorial choice. Musk saved Twitter $3 billion by cutting costs like crazy is also true. I'm not bringing this up to say anyone did anything wrong. I chose to use Ars Technica that said they have a $3 billion negative cash flow because that's true. I chose to launch this video by saying he's warning of the death of Twitter because that's true. And I'm doing it. When I look at this story from Timcast.com, it's accurate. But my view is, when it comes to my opinion and analysis, Twitter needs your support, and we should not let Elon lose this one. And so we have to figure out how to support the platform. That means the most urgent reporting, the most urgent framing is that Twitter could actually die unless things get turned around. The story is the same, but it's interesting how that works, right? I have this story from Reuters because I want to give you a white pill. I don't want to just come out here and say the world's ending. Investor in Musk's Twitter buyout expects to make up to 5 times its money. And we'll see. Well, there you go. Look at that. It's just not all bad news. Here we are. Aliyah Capital Partners, one of the biggest investors that joined Musk's $44 billion acquisition, said on Tuesday it expects to make up to 5 times its money despite the social media company's problems. They're going to say that it's been hemorrhaging money, blah, blah, blah. Elon's going to step down. Quote, we believe Twitter will produce a return of 4 to 5 times in just a few years with comparably limited downside risk, Aliyah chief executive Ross Keston said in a statement. Okay. If that's true, Aliyah, why don't you throw more money to cover that $13 billion in debt? A Miami-based manager of wealth of rich families put $360 million alongside Musk in the Twitter buyout. Okay. Maybe they can't afford it. $360 million ain't anywhere near $13 billion, but they're optimistic. So we'll see. I'm fairly optimistic. We will see. In the meantime, I'll tell you why we need this to succeed and why we should be optimistic. Because we have this from CNN. Elon Musk claims the FBI paid Twitter to censor info from the public. Here's what the Twitter files actually show. Says establishment shill Oliver Darcy. It shows, basically, that the FBI was going to Twitter and saying, why aren't these people getting banned? Why isn't Alex Berenson getting banned? And then they got banned. And they said, here's a reimbursement for the effort you put in to cover the costs of what you did for us. We're not paying you to ban. We're just reimbursing you for the costs of, acquiescing to government demands. Oh, shut up, man. Oliver, you had an opportunity. Guy interviews me back in 2018 about censorship on Twitter. And I said banning the alt-right was bad. Free speech is important, blah, blah, blah. I don't like their views, but we got to be careful about how we shut speech down because we need to debate these ideas to shut them down. And then eventually this dude gets a job at CNN. And it's like almost as soon as these journalists get hired by the corporate press, they just get on their knees and suckle at the government teat and say, just tell me what to say, government agencies. Here we go. Let me read for you about the false framing from the corporate press. Elon Musk is misleading the public again, says Oliver Darcy. The embattled billionaire, perhaps seeking to distract from the chaos he has wrought at the social media company, is making grossly misleading claims about Twitter and the FBI. And those claims are being blindly amplified to millions by Fox News and the rest of the powerful right-wing media machine. It's amazing, Oliver. You've become a D-tier personality among only those stupid enough to believe you. I hope it was worth it. I tweeted that at him, and then he was like, hey, but you're pitching your stories to me? Bro, that was 3 years ago. That's the amazing thing. It's 3 years ago we did a big raise, and I was like, hey, by the way. And then he didn't even cover it. I love it. Because he's an establishment shill. But yes, 3 years ago, I said, FYI, you're a media reporter. Here's a story in media. Since then, Oliver Darcy has grown continually worse and continually lied to people. For what reason? I don't know. I can only assume he's crossing his fingers being like, I hope I get to be in the CIA like Anderson Cooper was. Here you go. In those files, Schellenberger published a redacted screenshot of a 2021 email showing that Twitter's Safety, Content, and Law Enforcement Division had instituted a reimbursement program for its work responding to information requests from the FBI. The document indicated that Twitter had received $3.4 million in reimbursements at the time. Hey, wait a minute. What's that? The FBI had to reimburse Twitter for the costs incurred from acquiescing to their requests? Isn't that called paying someone? Oh, I see the game he's playing. Oliver Darcy is trying to twist, say, pay as in profit for services rendered. What Elon Musk said was that the government paid Twitter millions of dollars to censor info from the public. They did. What's your argument, Oliver? He says, the money Twitter collected had nothing to do with censoring anyone. The money was simply given as reimbursement for processing of legal requests, similar to how a journalist might have to pay a fee for a government agency processing a FOIA request. As Alex Stamos, the former chief security officer at Facebook and partner at the cyber consulting firm Krebs Stamos Group, wrote, it's absolutely nothing to do with content moderation. It's just, the FBI requested the whereabouts of Billy Baldwin and RSB Network and said, things like, why aren't these getting banned? We have some takedown requests. And oh, by the way, here's some money to cover the costs of doing these things. Yo, are you kidding me? I'd like to play a game. Let's take a look at Legal Information Institute at cornell.edu. 47 U.S. Code Section 230, Protection for Private Blocking and Screening of Offensive Material. I'd like to give a shout out to Vivek Ramaswamy, who appeared on the show last night and brought this point up, and I want to bring it to you now. They say, findings. Congress finds the rapidly developing array of internet and other interactive community services available to individual Americans represent an extraordinary advance in the availability of educational and informational resources to our citizens. These services offer users a great degree of control over the information that they receive, as well as the potential for even greater control in the future as technology develops. The internet and other interactive... Okay, you get the point. I'm not going to read all their findings, but I'll take a look at the policy, particularly Section 230, subsection C, subsection 2, subsection A. I know, we really get down in there, don't we? Section C, subsection 1. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Section 2, civil liability. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be held liable on account of A. Any action voluntarily taken in good faith to restrict access to or availability of material that the provider or user considers to be obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable, whether or not such material is constitutionally protected. And there it is. The end run around the Constitution. The game that they're playing with us. If Twitter exists under government protection, with the to remove constitutionally protected speech, and the FBI covers the cost of these removals, the government is still in violation of the Constitution. But they are playing a dirty game to bypass the courts. This is absolute corruption. Now, what I really love about the Elon Musk leaks is that when you take a look at The Intercept, these are hard leftists who love the Twitter file leaks when it shows something beneficial to them, their agenda. But then when it goes to, say, free speech and censorship of conservatives, then all of a sudden, no, none of that's true, and Elon Musk's a bad guy. Twitter aided the Pentagon in its covert online propaganda campaign. Internal documents show Twitter whitelisted CENTCOM accounts that were then used to run its online influence campaign abroad. So let's put it simply. The FBI was paying Twitter, reimbursing them, covering the costs, getting privileged access to run psychological operations on the American people, and formally request the takedown of what they say simply breaks the rules. Yeah. Twitter is a subsidiary of the federal government. You have to understand that at this point, they will be coming for Elon Musk. He has done too much to expose the machine. He has done too much to expose the dirty games they play. And they can't tolerate it. So they'll have to come after him in any way possible. How? Well, in a lot of ways. From Bazinga.com. Tesla has lost $250 billion in market cap since Elon Musk took over Twitter. I think the game they're playing is, Elon, give up Twitter, stop playing the game, play ball, go back to Tesla, be rich, right? This is Trump 2.0. Elon Musk may not be the president of these United States, but he's certainly in a similar position to Trump. Trump enters the establishment fray. He walks up and he says, okay, we're shutting it down. No more war. No more illegal immigration. Bring our jobs back. We will save this country. And the machine came to him and said, no. How about you play ball? And Donald Trump said no. To a certain degree, he said yes, don't get me wrong. John Bolton, that was a mistake. I think Trump thought that he was going to play a little bit of their game, but then try and do things he wanted to do, and they did not want to do these things. So they lied, they cheated, they stole, they beat the figurative crap out of the guy. He lost a ton of money, and then ultimately he bows out. Now what's he doing? Hey, he's hucking NFTs on Twitter. Hey, he sold them all. Congratulations. But that energy is just down. Elon Musk. He saw the Babylon Bee get suspended. But it was more than that. He knew that there was something dirty afoot. So he said, okay, fine, I'm going to buy this. Boy, did they start panicking. Vigigate crying. Oh, no, but all the evil things that I'm doing, the corrupt activities, they're going to be exposed. Yeah, they're corrupt as they come. So Elon Musk takes over the platform, and then they start ripping it apart. All of a sudden, the revenue's gone. Advertisers just don't want to be here anymore for some reason. Why? Probably ESG. Think about it. These companies, these big advertisers, they need capital. They need lenders. They want to expand. They want to make money. Uh-oh. How many women are on the board of your company? How many people of color? Sorry. You've got to abide by ESG. Twitter isn't. And so they say, well, if you do ads on Twitter, that'll lower your ESG score, and then we may not lend you money. So these companies abruptly just decide, I guess we won't buy ads on Twitter anymore. It makes no sense. Then you get intelligence assets like Schiff, who repeats the lie over and over again that hate speech has increased on Twitter. It's not true. But you know what? Like Oliver Darcy, here's a man who's proud of the fact that he's influential among only the stupidest people on the planet. It's unfortunate. I wish stupid people were not stupid. I wish people, actually researched things and understood what was going on. But this is what you get. The weaponization of ignorance. The people who think Adam Schiff is a good guy, who for some reason get lied to every single day, get those lies proven to be lies, and then they just keep believing it. Don't ask me why. Now, Elon Musk is getting defensive. CNBC reports Elon Musk tries to explain why Tesla shares are tanking. As Tesla shares sank 8% on Tuesday, reaching a new 52-week low, Elon Musk tried to blame macroeconomic factors. Critics point to his acquisition of Twitter as a distraction. Yeah, let me just tell you, all the stocks are down. It's not just Tesla. Meanwhile, Tesla has been offering discounts and incentives to improve sales in China, fighting to improve efficiency in new factories in Texas and Germany, and facing supply chain issues and soaring energy prices in Europe. I don't think the reason Tesla shares are going down is just because of Elon. I think it's mostly macroeconomic factors. I think Elon plays a role. Confidence says a whole lot. People have pointed out that the cost of shares compared to the actual earnings of the company are really, really high relative to other companies. Fine. But ultimately, I'll tell you, Elon Musk is doing everything that the Great Reset people would want. I mean, except for Twitter. Everyone's praising Elon for all these great things. And I'm like, dude, he's running businesses in China. You don't get to run a business in China unless you're under the boot of the Chinese Communist Party. Elon Musk has praised China. Elon Musk is building Neuralink. He is far from perfect. He's building electric cars and saying, he's doing more for climate change than anybody else. You're going to be driving one of these Teslas in 10 years. And then all of a sudden the car's going to shut off and be like, you've used too much energy today, Stephen. Your car will be disabled. Please walk and your car will return home. Okay. Or better yet, you'll just live in the pod and you won't have the car. The car will be too expensive. But maybe then all the rich folk will keep the car. Elon Musk should be the darling of these agencies. But he's not. I think Elon has a different idea for what the future will be. I don't think his idea is perfect. But I think he believes in more individuality. He believes in a larger population, and he's right about that. So I like Elon Musk. Despite the fact that he's doing things that are bad, he's right. We need more people. This planet needs more people. I do believe our cities are too dense. I do believe our people are misguided. But we need more people so there can be more specialties. If right now, 90% of humanity disappeared, you probably wouldn't get running water or indoor plumbing. This is the sad reality of life. The ancient Romans, they had indoor plumbing. Then the empire collapsed, the empire fractured, and the Dark Ages emerged, and then people just took dumps out their windows. No joke, they built castles where there'd be a toilet, and it would just fall straight down. And then someone would have to come and shovel it and clean it. I guess technically that's indoor plumbing, but very rudimentary. Now, how was it that they had indoor plumbing in ancient Rome, but then they lost technology? Well, the reality is you need a large, cohesive structure of humans who each specialize in something. To build a computer, someone needs to know how to make the touchscreen glass, the aluminum or the plastic for the base, the chips, the wiring, the materials. It's insane. No single human is going to make a laptop. Never going to happen. How do you make the plastics used in it? Yikes. You could probably do it with all metal. Well, you might get conductivity problems, but you're going to need some kind of plastic baseboard or something. Yeah. Plastic makes it possible. How about that? How does someone even make plastic? It's tough. If our population continues to collapse, we will lose access to this technology. And if we want to colonize Mars and the stars, we need more people. Elon Musk gets that. But for some reason, there's a large, I don't know, what do you want to call it, cabal of powerful individuals who are just like, there's too many people on this planet and we need less. And thus, you get TED Talks from high-profile individuals like Bill Gates saying less people now. Now, he's not literally saying less people. He's saying population growth reduction, so eventually less people. Okay. I don't think the problem is the amount of people. I think the amount of people is good. The problem is too many people do nonsense. Too many people are those morons who follow people like Adam Schiff. Yikes. How do we get past that hurdle? That's a big challenge. There are people like Adam Schiff who use the will and power of those who are too ignorant to do research to empower themselves and corrupt the system. So the problem isn't overpopulation. The problem is people like Schiff, people who are lying, people like Oliver Darcy who lie, who know they're lying. They know they're lying. Oliver Darcy came out and he was like, Elon Musk is openly banning journalists. Bro, he knows they got banned for doxing. He just omits it. Maybe the dude is just one of those morons marching in lockstep. Okay, in that capacity, I understand what people like Bill Gates are like, we need less people. But my attitude is just educate them. Do not give them an option to stand with lies and deception. Fire them from these companies. Stop it. But it's not easy. It's a constant battle. It's a battle we will remain in because there will always be people who are greedy and manipulative. The only way you get rid of those people, well, you can try and be like Stalin, but it just doesn't work. Not everyone's going to agree. And so this will always be our struggle. To fight against those who are ignorant or intentionally lying to people, to corrupt a system, or to impose a totalitarian dictatorship. Why? Because they want everyone to just do as they're told. I like decentralization. I want to see us travel the stars like Star Trek. Or, I don't know, maybe like Stargate, but that means we got to send a Stargate somewhere. But how cool would that be? What if we don't actually live on big ships? What if we dispatch autonomous machines with, I don't know, some kind of portal generator? Drop the portal on a planet that's habitable and then open it up. Send matter on through. Maybe. That'd be cool. Or we can just build the faster than light engines or something. The only way that's going to happen is if we solve these problems. So, Elon may not be the guy. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.